Hi y'all, welcome to my channel today. I have been extremely busy just getting ready for a bunch of different stuff. I've got stuff behind me that needs to get done. I got Easter baskets and shirts and memory bears and memory quilts. I'm going to be busy for the next month or more for sure, definitely right into Easter. But today I have a hat order of about 20 hats. And I'm doing something a little bit different. I know I've brought you a couple videos on hats. Today I'm going to bring you something that is a little bit different. And what's different about this is you could do this with any embroidery machine that you have. If you have a single needle flat embroidery machine, this is still something that you could definitely achieve with that. It's not that I'm not capable of using my multi-needle machine to embroider hats. Obviously, you know that I am. But my client specifically wanted a patch style hat. And you can embroider. I thought about like kind of doing it like an applique and embroidering it on that way. But I don't know. I just felt like for what I felt that the client was looking for, they really wanted the patch. So the best way to do that was, in my opinion, to make a patch. I don't have the industrial sewing machine to actually like stitch it on like you can probably see. And let me know what that machine is called. Like I've seen it in videos and I know it exists. I don't know what it's called. If you know, drop a comment, let me know. So anyway, so here is the prototype of the hat that I'm working on. It's for a soccer team, Cruisers. This is a patch that I got off of Etsy. So the patch is just a blank patch. It comes, you can buy them from, I'll put in the description, the Etsy seller that I use. It comes in different heights. So I bought the 2.5-inch patch. I kind of wish I bought the smaller one. Sorry, I'm pulling that upside down. I wish I had brought the smaller patch because I actually did go ahead and shrink it down to 2 inches instead of the 2.5. And you can see like with my font, it could almost be like a 1.5. Or I should have gotten a taller font. The font is a 3D font that I also got in Etsy. So again, something that you could easily achieve, very customizable. So you could put any sport team in here, any name in here. So it's very customizable. So I'm excited about these patches. I'm excited to give this a try. The client has already seen the prototype and is very happy with it. They're excited. Now I'm going to do one that's a little bit different. It's going to say mama and it's going to have the two kids numbers in it. So I haven't even designed that yet. I've just been so busy. But I know that they've got a game coming up. So I have got to get in gear and get these hats going. I did go ahead and buy a hat heat press specifically for this job. So that is something that if you have a single needle machine and you're wanting to do patches on hats, I would suggest getting a hat press because I'm really not sure that the iron would cut it for this. You're going to want a hat press. I know Cricut has one, but it's price-wise not much different than the like pull-down ones. I got mine off Amazon. It's probably one of the cheapest ones I could find, but it had amazing reviews. Probably also because it is a budget one, so a lot of people have it. So there's a lot of reviews on it, but all good reviews. It does only heat from the top. I would have liked to have had one that heated from the top and bottom, especially with the 3D puff. So, and I'm still very new to this, raw to this. So like you've seen in most of my videos, I'm just taking you along for the ride. So if I'm doing something and you're like, that's crazy, that's not how it's supposed to happen. Well, it's because I'm probably clueless on the matter. But I was having a little bit of a hard time finding videos specifically on this. I did find a few, but I just thought I would bring you a video showing you another way to do hats. And maybe if you have the buy machine and you're struggling with hats, this would be another great alternative to embroidering straight on the hat. So also, really quick, I wanted to try the Lone Star adhesive, but it wasn't going to get to me in time. So I went ahead and got this one, a Hotfix adhesive. And it comes in a 12-inch by 10-yard roll. So it's a very budget-friendly roll, and it does seem similar to Heat and Bond. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit disappointed when I opened it up, but I did give it a try on the prototype, and I mean, I'm pretty sure if you really wanted to pull it off, you could, but it just seems like it's going to hold up for what they need it to hold up for. So I have 2 more patches to stitch out. I've got about 8 that are literally ready to press on the hat. I've got 8 that I've already pulled off that need to be cleaned up. I need to take some of that puff out, get the adhesive on the back. So I'm kind of right in the middle of it all, and I still have 2 more that I got to stitch out to complete this 20. So let's just jump right into it. I'm excited to bring you guys this, and I hope that you find it helpful. So I have my free arm ready for this. I'm putting the bottom of my 5.5 hoop in, and I'm putting in a tearaway stabilizer. So I have 2 pieces of tearaway stabilizer here. I just dropped one. This one is cut to the full size that it's supposed to be cut to. And this one is just a scrap. And that is just because my preference is I like it doubled up because it's going to give that patch like more stability and just like a thickness to it, I guess. So it's just a preference. It's not necessary. It's just kind of what I like. So, all right. So that's ready to go. The next thing I will say is that normally you see when I do any kind of an applique, I like to place my fabric down, put my print out, and then go ahead and do that placement stitch and the material stitch at the same time using the printout, knowing where it's going to be. Especially for my HTV, words today, the glitter vinyl, because I like that double stitching on that glitter vinyl. This is different because the placement stitch is actually wider than the fabric tack down stitch, because when you cut the fabric away, it's going to be cut in more than that initial farthest out stitch that they're going to have. So that way, when it's a finished patch, it's going to have this nice clean edge, and you're not going to have to clean up all of that fabric. There might be some fuzzies a little bit from the tearaway stabilizer that will just heat gun off, or whatever, but you're not going to have that fabric to deal with. So that's why. So we're going to do the placement stitch first, then we're going to put the twill fabric down, do the stitch out, take it off, cut it, and then I'm going to do the puff. So let's get right into it. All right, out to my machine, putting on the hoop. I have the design set already, so we're just going to do trace. All right, that should fit just fine. I've already let me double check, but needle 4, needle 6, needle 4. Yes, okay. I knew it was probably fine because I haven't done anything since these, but just to double check. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let it do that first tack down stitch, the placement stitch. All right, then we're just going to place the fabric inside here. Let's see, I need to do 2 patches and I'm not sure. All right, I went ahead and cut the piece that I had in half. It's going to be cutting it close, but it's literally the last bit that I have without having to go to the store. It should be fine. Okay, so I'm just going to use my applique scissors and cut it as usual, as close to the edge as you can get. The other thing I'm going to do, which isn't necessary, but there is a little bit of a pucker, like not a pucker. The fabric just didn't lay down as flat as I personally would like, but it's not that bad. I'm going to use my mini heat press, just like those little mini ones, and I'm just going to press it because it does have that heat and bond on the back. So it'll just bond it to the stabilizer. And that'll just give me a nice flat surface to do the 3D puff on. It's not even a step that I always do. It's just in this case where it just didn't lay as flat as I would like. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so yeah, look how cute this little thing is. I just picked it up really cheap off of Temu. It has the kind of the base that it sits in. It's nothing expensive, but when I have smaller hoopings and I want to use my iron, I just wanted a little iron. So this is just a cute little thing picked up off Temu. Nothing crazy expensive. And that's it. That's all I wanted to do. Now it's just going to lay nice and flat for the 3D puff. And while we're right here, this is where I store it. I showed this before the last time I did a 3D puff. This comes in this huge roll, and I've actually already used a whole bunch of it. I got it from Hobby Lobby, and it's just it's like a dense foam, like a high density foam. Comes on this big roll. So I just cut it to size and use this. It's better than that crafter foam that I was using before this. This just gives it a more raised look and I feel like a crisper edge to your 3D puff. You can use the craft foam. I was using craft foam for a long time before this. It's going to give it a flatter, more rounded edge to it than that crisp, sharp edge to your 3D puff, if that makes sense. So anyways, I really enjoyed using this when I switched. So this is just kind of my go-to. Why I get this one is because Hobby Lobby is my store in town, so it's easily accessible to me, but I'm sure that you could pick up a foam like this on Amazon or maybe even Michael's or another place like that. So this is what I use. Back at the machine, I have my foam cut to size. I am just going to float it on top. I'm not going to tape it. When I was doing the hooping with 8 at a time, I was just running a long piece of, I was cutting longer strips to fit like 2 at a time. So I had like 2, 4, 6, 8 strips of them. And I just like put a big piece of tape on either side just to hold them in place. Well, because it was going to stitch a bunch and I didn't want to sit there and babysit it. But in this, for just one, I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to hold like the edge just to make sure it don't move. So that's it. And then it just let it go and it should be just fine. All right, it is finished. Looks great. You just pull it away from that stabilizer. And because it did that stitching in the way that it did, there's really hardly any cleanup at all. Just a couple stitches from where it tied off. And a little tiny bit of fuzz from the stabilizer, which can easily be melted with a heat gun or a lighter. For the sake of not feeling like plugging in my heat gun, I'm just going to hit it with a lighter really fast. Then I just go through and pick out all of the puff, and it looks great. So the next step after this will be, I have these cut, the adhesive. So I am going to just line up, I'll clean these up first, but I'm going to line up a few of these on here. Adhesive, like the upside down. I'm going to flip it and then iron these onto them and then kind of clean them up. So I will show you how I do that. After I clean all these up, I'm going to hit the edge of this really quick just to melt that fuzz. All right, y'all. So I decided that instead of just burning around the edges, well, not decided, I forgot that this is a 3D puff. So what I really actually have to do is take a heat gun to these letters just to kind of shrink in any of that puff that might be sticking out. It also just helps all of the stitching to just kind of smooth out and just look really tight and really clean. So these are the ones that I previously did. I don't know if you can see much of a difference on camera, but I can tell you in person it does make a difference. But then I ran into a problem where this is literally, so I don't have a heat gun. This is an embossing heat tool. So it does not get as hot as a heat gun, at least to my understanding gets. And the only reason I know that is because I literally had to look it up today. I plugged this in and nothing. It was just click, 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 nothing. Completely dead. And I used it yesterday, so I don't understand what happened. But it is also 13 years old because I bought it for my wedding to do some invitations. So it is pretty old, and I just started recently using it a lot more within the last 2 years. So I'm not really surprised that it died in the middle of my project, but it was very unfortunate. So, but I liked that one because I'm holding these. So when I'm doing the heat, I don't want to burn myself. So when I looked at the heat gun in the near the automotive section in Walmart or whatnot, or it was like with the electrical stuff, it got up to like 700 and some degrees, and it didn't look like there was any kind of a dial to turn that heat down. So I just thought there's no way I am attempting that. I'm gonna burn my fingers off. So my only other option right now, because like I need it today, these have to be done tomorrow, was to go to Hobby Lobby and get this embossing tool, which has horrible reviews. It's like a 2-star. All the reviews say it dies after 2 uses. So I'm not really holding my breath. I already turned on, did one patch, and it did okay. Like this one ran really smoothly. It got really hot, like very consistent, and I loved it. So I was hoping it would be similar. This one doesn't even sound as smooth, if that makes sense, and it just doesn't feel very consistent. But it's what I have. It's what we're going to work with today, and I will just do some research now that I need a new one. So I'm just cleaning up some of these edges. And I will get a better one off Amazon. But for today, this is what I have to work with. So all you're going to do, did I do this one already? Is take your patch with your 3D puff. You're going to turn on your heat tool, and then you're just going to hold it. And because it's an embossing tool, like I said, it does not get as hot, I don't know, maybe as a heat gun. I'm hoping that if I look into it more, I'll be able to find one with a control. But anyway, so you just keep moving. You don't want to hold still too long and melt anything. Because even with the embossing tool that I was using before, I did accidentally melt a little bit on a hat that I was working on once. So it is possible. Definitely still gets very hot, hotter than a blow dryer. This is not something you can really attempt with a blow dryer. Okay, really quick. As far as this heat gun, I would not recommend getting it just because of the reviews are so bad. But I did discover that it does have a low mode and a high mode, and the high mode sounds a lot more like what I'm used to, and the heat felt more consistent and more hot. So I just want to put that plug in that this is probably going to work just fine for what I have tonight. And then I'm still probably going to get something different because just I don't often see reviews so bad on something, but like every single one was like consistent. Used it twice, stopped working. Well, I don't need this whole scenario to happen again, so I will be getting a different one. But just so you know, it does work a lot better on the high setting. Sounds better, more consistent. The heat definitely feels hotter, more what I'm used to. So this will work just fine for what I need it for tonight. And after I do all of these patches, I have this. Sorry, it's really late, and I'm trying to think of words right now. I don't normally work late, but this has got to get done tomorrow, and I had a lot of stuff going on today. Adhesive, there we go. This adhesive paper that I bought. So you've got the paper side on this side, the adhesive side on this side. I'm going to line these all up on my ironing board like this, and I'm just going to iron them on, and then I'll show you how I peel them off. So I'm going to go ahead and finish with the heat tool all of these patches, and then I will show you how I'm going to iron the adhesive on. Okay, we're over here at my lovely ironing board. So I have 2 of the adhesives cut, and then this is just a piece that I peeled off of a larger adhesive, and this is just kind of like protect my ironing board from getting any sticky residue on it. And then what you're going to do is, look, here is like, this is the peel, this is the adhesive, okay? So you're going to put that side down on top of our patches here. So I am just going to line up a few. All right, and I just have them so that they're all touching each other. And then I'm going to put this down on top. And then with no steam and a hot iron, I'm just going to hold and press on top of these patches. If I was just doing one patch, I would probably cut it to the exact size. But since I'm doing multiples here today, this is how I'm doing. I'm going to let that cool a minute. So I'll bring you guys back to my table and show you how I take these apart and get them ready for putting on the hat. And we're almost done. All right, so here we go. I already pulled the backing off of this, and you can see it's still just one long piece all stuck together. And I will go ahead and peel it off of here. Same thing. What I do is I just kind of pull up. So it's going to leave all this, and I pull it from the back, like you know, down. Sorry, my bracelets are making noise. And I just kind of pinch the edges and pull it off. After doing what, 8 or 12 patches, this is just kind of what I have found, because when I use the heat press, I don't want to see, like right there, you probably can't see that. Yeah, that ain't gonna help. Trying to find something of color. All right, I don't know. Okay, do you see how there's like a little bit of that on top? If I heat press it onto the hat, you're gonna see that residue. So that's kind of what I'm like picking off. Just making sure that none of that. And I think like the Lone Star one, when I watched people doing that, it was a little bit more moldable. So like they were just like rubbing it back behind the patch. So I felt like that would have given more adhesion. But this one does not mold, so we're just gonna rip it off. So I pull them apart and I go through and I just pick off all of this. All right, until we get to the point where we're ready to do a hat. So let me put a pause in this for me and get you over to the heat press to show you what I do once the patches are ready to go on the hat. Okay, so here is the heat press that I got from Amazon. It's a Delchini. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. It's just the mint colored one off of Amazon. I have my temperature set to 150 and I have my time set at 20 seconds. And as far as the pressure, it's just out of the box. There's no digital pressure on this. It looks like it's something that you would just adjust with this. And like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing here, learning for the first time. So what I have kind of found works, especially because mine doesn't heat from the bottom, is I pull out the packaging of the hat. I do peel off this sticker because when I was watching a few tutorials, they said that this would like leave a residue or whatnot from the heat. So I pull it off. I do re-put it on the hats. I just kind of like, I don't know, stick it gently. All right, so you pull the brim out. And again, guys, like I'm kind of almost taking you, like, yes, I've done 5 or 6 hats, but I'm learning for the first time. Also, it comes with 2 pads. This one was the one that was on it, which I'm kind of considering going back to. I was just feeling that when I pulled when I pulled this lever to tighten the hat, this big one was just making it so like the lever couldn't pull down. I don't know. I just tried the smaller one and it's working fine, but I kind of think that the bigger one would be better. So, but anyways, just for time's sake, this one's working fine. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so you pull the brim out, not the brim, the band. You pull the band out and you just kind of position it as straight as you can, and then pull this lever down to tighten it. And it just pops through the back of the hat there. It's not going to cooperate with me. All right. There we go. That's better. And I don't think it needs to like crank all the way, just enough to hold the hat snug in place. All right, so now what I was saying is I have found that because mine doesn't heat from the bottom, just to kind of help, because this kind of can slide around in here, what I do is I go ahead and pull it down and press the hat first and just get it warmed up. You don't even have to necessarily do it the full 20 seconds. That was like half the time, 10. Okay, so it's hot. And then I just kind of eyeball it. I know the Z is center, so I center that with a center line. And I am just eyeballing it as straight as I can get it. Okay, so by just kind of warming up the hat, it's going to hold it in place and allow me to position it where I need to position it. And one of the things that I should have probably got when I ordered this hat press was the like guards that go here. I believe they're kind of like a rubber or silicone, especially for the 3D puff. I did not get those. So what I've been doing is just a few layers of jersey. These are just 2 scrap sleeves, white sleeves left over from some memory shirts that I've done. I've just got some scrap jersey t-shirts. So anyways, I go ahead and put these into place. I was using just 1 sleeve, so that would be like 2 layers of jersey, and it was working okay for the first couple of hats, and then I noticed some like not puckering, but like just like a little bit of wrinkling in the fabric that I just didn't care for. I mean, it's okay, but I wanted it like smoother. So I'm going ahead and putting 2 sleeves on there, so 4 layers of jersey, and it's the 350 degrees for 20 seconds. That alone also probably gives it more pressure, you know, so it's gonna hopefully pressure it around that 3D puff and just hold everything in better. I did still notice some wrinkling. I'll show you in a minute when it comes. All right, so that was 20. I pull it up. I pull off these, and it is still very hot. So I'm just gonna kind of rub. Be careful you don't burn yourself. The patch part. That this one actually looks really good. So anyways, there it is. I am pretty happy with it. This patch, I think it's just like the shape of it and the fact that it's a flat patch going on a curved hat. It just sometimes depending on which angle I hold the hat, it doesn't look straight. But then like every time I test, it is straight. So we're gonna go with it. Well, y'all, I did it. I got through all 20 of these hats. This is the mama one. I just wanted to show you guys. So cute. I love how it came out. I just stuck with the same, um, the puff font, and we just raised it up a little bit and added the numbers and the hearts. They are centered. The design is completely centered, but because the 10 is longer, it just kind of makes the whole, like the heart look off a little bit. I kind of wish I had pulled the 7 in, but when I did that, then the whole thing looks, I mess with it a lot. This is honestly the most, it is centered. It just, I don't know, something about these patches just mess with my eyes, or maybe it's just because I've had a long day and I'm really tired. Have you guys ever been there? But anyways, I'm just happy that I got all 20 of these hats done, and I hope that you found this tutorial helpful today. Just a way to do hats that's a little bit different, to use your hat press to be able to adhere them onto your hats. Maybe you don't have a multi-needle machine. Maybe that's something you're working towards, and a hat press is something that is more in your budget than, you know, a $5,000 machine. So give this a try. This is something that I wish I kind of had learned this technique back when I did have my single needle, because I was doing a lot of hats back then too. I would just like squish them flat. It was like a mess. And then they just never really looked, the quality just wasn't quite there. But anyways, this is a great way to get good quality hats, even if you have a single needle or on your multi-needle, if you're just looking to do more of a patch style, you know, to knock out like 8 of these in one hooping while I'm multitasking and doing other things, and then to press them onto the hat only took probably 40 seconds each. Well, yeah, because I did, like, I heated it first for about 10 seconds to heat up the hat, and then by the time you're done placing it and doing the 20-second set. So, I mean, it didn't take long at all. So, this is definitely an option for you if you're looking for another way to do hats. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful today. Give me a like, a share, subscribe, all the things. You know that I love reading your comments, so if you've watched through all the way this far, I know that you're invested. Please leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. And again, I took you through this journey as I was learning myself, and I kind of am just self-teaching. So if you've seen anything and you have any suggestions for me, I would love to hear them. I would love to try new things. Even with the hat press, if this is something that you already have and maybe you figured out something that would work better for me, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about it. It might even make it into one of my future videos. But thank you guys so much for watching.